So as well as drug dealers and car chasers, I was also lucky to catch an advanced screening of Despicable Me 2, the follow-up to 2008's, I think, smash hit Despicable Me, which was a great animated movie. Is this one as good? You'll find out. Three things are for sure. The animation is brilliant, the voice cast is great, and I really, really want a minion. Here is my review for Despicable Me 2. Okay, I believe I made a slight mistake in my intro. Turns out Despicable Me was in fact released in 2010, which is sooner than I actually thought. You know, I didn't think it was actually that new. But it turns out it is, and normally they don't bring out sequels that close to animated movies. They have done, and is it worthy? Is it like true to the original? I think it's a pretty good film. I think it's worth going to see. If you've got kids, definitely take them to see it. If you're a fan of the first Despicable Me, you won't be disappointed. Is it as good as the first? I wouldn't say so. It's sort of on level with it though, you know. Like most sequels to animated films aren't as good, you know, exclude sort of Toy Story movies and stuff like that. But obviously they're, you know, sort of great, you know, classics now. With Despicable Me, I reckon they will be classic films. And the voice cast I have mentioned is absolutely brilliant. I mean, Steve Carell obviously returns as Gru, and yeah, he's pretty great as Gru. We have Kirsten Wiig, whatever her name is, you know, Kirsten, same sort of thing. But she plays a new character called Lucy Wilde, and basically the plot is, because Gru is an ex-villain, he's now not a villain, because if you've seen the first movie you know why, and yeah, because of his girls and things. But yeah, she sort of she works for an anti-villain league, and there's this villain, and he's taken a lab, like literally a whole lab, and she well, her sort of the anti-villain league who she works for, they think that Gru can help, you know, stop this villain. So basically, that's what it's about. She goes to recruit Gru. Gru obviously doesn't want to do it, and then in the end, he does do it, and there's the movie. I mean, it sounds kind of unoriginal, but with sequels, you know, most are pretty unoriginal. All the things have been done before. But the movie does bring some new things, and it is absolutely hilarious at points. You know, like the minions are absolutely great. I love them. More of the voice cast, we have Miranda Cosgrove, who was in the first movie as one of Gru's girls, who you will know from Drake and Josh or iCarly. She was also in the movie School of Rock with Jack Black. There you go. Steve Coogan, who else is in this movie? Ken Jeong, who plays Mr. Chow in Hangover. So yeah, we have a really great cast. I heard Al Pacino was in this movie, and I don't remember seeing anyone who could have been Al Pacino. I don't think Al Pacino was in it. But, you know, he was rumoured to be in it. I don't remember him in it. Oh, and obviously Russell Brand returns as Dr. Nefario. Sorry, I keep getting confused with the character names. But, yeah, so, yeah, the voice cast is crystal clear, absolutely brilliant. You know, it just adds to the greatness of the film. I'm not going to say it's like one of the best animated movies to be released. This year, it probably is the best animated movie, because we haven't had many good animated movies, you know. I heard that Epic was okay. I never actually saw Epic. But out of animated movies this year, I haven't seen hardly any, but I'd say Despicable Me is the best so far, you know. I know the animation is absolutely great. It's as if you're watching a live action movie in HD, you know. There's scenes such as, it's like one of the little minions is running around and you see it from his point of view, and like you know, you're seeing the world from his point of view. It's great. The animation for that scene is great. And the scene where, you would have seen it in the trailer, where Lucy Wilde, who is Kirsten Wiig's character, first recruits Gru, and you know, she goes underwater with her car, which was pretty cool, and you saw it from the inside of the car as if you were in the car, and it actually makes it seem like you were in the car. It's like when you go on those simulator rides and fun fairs, like, you know, and you see it from that point of view. You know, I think this movie, if you'd have seen it in D-Box, it probably would have been like a simulator. It was that good with the animation, and yeah. But obviously this movie hasn't actually been released yet. It's just on preview. I think it's on preview. It might be on preview today, but they're probably all finished by now. But yeah, the movie is actually released on Friday, so I would recommend checking it out if you've got kids, definitely. And if you're a fan of Despicable Me, and you know, you want to see an animated movie, and you're a parent, you want to take your kids to the cinema, but you don't want to be sitting there bored, this movie is good for that, because it's funny, The animation is great, the voice cast is great. You'll recognise most of the voices in this movie because some really classic actors lend their voices in this movie, which I really liked. I love it when animated movies do that with really famous, sort of actors. So yeah, I think it is. You will have a good time with it. You'll find it funny and up to date with the first one, as I mentioned before. Yeah, but I wouldn't say it was as good as the first one, obviously, because the first one, it will be known as a classic, and I think the second one will also be known as a classic. And I'd recommend, if you're going to see it, to see it in 3D. I didn't actually see it in 3D, but I can see some like where the 3D would be. It'd be great. I did see the first Despicable Me in the cinemas in 3D, and that was great in 3D. So I think this one would be probably better in 3D because the animation is actually really, sort of, even since like Toy Story 3, which was, great animation, one of the best 3D films I saw in the cinema. Since then, the animation has actually got better, which I never thought would happen. But yeah, so definitely see it in 3D. I didn't. I actually wish I did see it in 3D, even though I'm not a big fan of 3D. But I'd recommend seeing it in 3D, and I would recommend. It's one of those films that you should see in the cinema if you have children that want to see the movie, or buy it on Blu-ray because it would be great on Blu-ray with the great animation. But yeah, the movie, it's not just the animation and voice cast is great. It is actually good. It's like it sort of starts off like a proper spy movie, and you'll recognize sort of references from other movies in that. You'll be like, yeah, this is pretty good. I'm actually enjoying it. And I was sitting there thinking, I'm gonna be bored. It's not gonna be as good as the first. I wasn't bored at any point. I was really, sort of, how do you say? I was sort of engrossed in it really. When it finished, I was like, oh, is that it? It's actually pretty long for an animation, but you won't notice because of like you're having such a good time. I mean, I didn't know what rating to give it. I don't want to give it a 3. That seems too low, but a 4 seems kind of high. But I'm gonna give it 3.5. But if you have kids, you want a good film, to keep you entertained and your kids entertained, rank that up to a 4. And I would actually give it a thumbs up. So thanks for watching and goodbye. And as always, just to add at the end, if you like what you see, you want to see more, check out my channel. I have got many videos on there. Well, not many, but I've got quite a few now. I need more views. I need to get out there, so help me with that. And make sure you subscribe and like us on Facebook at KDTTV69 Official. So yeah, thank you for watching.